In this video, I will be discussing how Paris, France, has been addressing cultural intolerance. I will present a few programs and policies that have been implemented. These could possibly be used or adapted by the City of Sydney to address cultural intolerance in the city and thus improve social cohesion. Firstly, Paris is a global city with a history of immigration. For example, Southern Europeans in the early 20th century to immigrants from the Middle East and North and Sub-Saharan Africa after World War II. Currently, 20% of the population of Paris is born overseas. Many of these more recent immigrants are concentrated in the north and northeast of Paris in the 18th and 19th arrondissements. This has resulted in cultural intolerance and social exclusion, which has caused civil unrest. This can be seen with the 2005 French riots, where Paris was the epicenter. Paris is a relevant city for this case study, as it shares similarities with Sydney. Both are global cities with high foreign-born populations, such as 20% in Paris to 37% in Sydney. Immigrants are concentrated in certain parts of the city, the north and northeast in Paris, and the west and southwest in Sydney, and they have both experienced riots involving cultural intolerance. To overcome cultural intolerance, Paris has used a mix of local grassroots programs and government policies. The two I will discuss is the Living Together in the Maroc-Tanger neighbourhood and social mixing policies. The Living Together in the Maroc-Tanger neighbourhood is a local grassroots program that was started in 2001 due to concerns of communication barriers between people of different ethnicities and cultures in Rue de Maroc. It managed to achieve this by holding regular community events such as maintaining a shared community garden, holding dinners, and parades. This program has been quite successful, as it has continued to run in the local community and now receives financial support from the City of Paris. Social mixing policies are used by the government to target social geographic inequality, as opposed to specific ethnic populations. This is in accordance with the Republican values France was founded on, such as equal treatment of all, regardless of race or religion. These policies could work in Paris, as migrants are unfortunately overrepresented in social housing. Therefore, social mixing aims to spread disadvantaged families throughout the city, which could overcome cultural intolerance in the community. There are two methods to achieve this: urban renewal and building acquisitions. Urban renewal is used mainly in the north and northeast of Paris, where there is a high level of social housing. An example of this is in Goutte d'Or in the 18th arrondissement. Urban renewal aimed to remove older social housing which formed ghettos, as shown in the image on the right, with newer housing for disadvantaged and middle-class families. This has not worked as intended, as not all of the social housing units removed have been replaced. Those that are using the new social housing also have the same demographics as those using the older buildings. Thus, ghettos have remained and cultural intolerance has not improved. The other method involved the government acquiring buildings in wealthy neighbourhoods to be used as social housing. The government mandated that social housing should make up at least 20% of the housing units in each municipality. This has not occurred, as many wealthy municipalities have not met this mandate. Any social housing units in these neighbourhoods were also selectively allocated, and often migrants would be excluded. This has meant migrants have not been spread throughout the city, and cultural intolerance persists. In conclusion, the City of Paris has had mixed results in addressing cultural intolerance. The local grassroots program, Living Together in the Maroc-Tanger neighbourhood, has been successful. However, current social mixing policies have failed due to mismanagement.